And then Matt Houston, the game he played, I thought he did a great job. They tried to run a couple times, and we threw the runners out, kind of shut down their running game. And I thought some bullpen pieces, especially on Saturday, I thought Hooks and Kreider were really good. Roberson got his first shot at Division I, stepped on the mound, and I personally think he has some of the best stuff on our staff. I think he has a very high ceiling. He's young, but a really good arm, really good stuff, and it was good to see him get out there. And there's others. And then you move to Sunday. It was a crazy weekend because you had the rain delay. We were good offensively, so it was a long day. And then you had a long day with a doubleheader, and then we get way ahead, and then we get behind. And it was good to see us fight back. We needed to be in a game like that. And I thought, Cade Patterson obviously came off the bench, gave us a spark a couple of days, and some guys had to take a seat. We benched some guys just to give them a chance to watch the game, and played some other guys, made a move in the middle of the game to try to interject some energy. Again, we're just trying to figure out who we are and what our lineup, who's our guys that could come off the bench and give us that spark. But at the end of the day, we found a way to win. I liked the vibe in the dugout. I did. I was worried, how tough are we, or are we going to be a real Louisiana Tech team? Are we going to be tough? Are we going to be able to keep coming and not give up? And I heard stuff coming out of the dugout when we were losing Sunday. Just, we're not going to lose this game. And when you hear that kind of stuff from players, they're fighting. And that's what I said after the game. I was eighth inning. I'm like, man, I'm so proud of these guys because they won't stop. If we lose, I'm good. Sometimes the scoreboard, we do this to win, but sometimes you learn stuff about your team that you may not win the game. So, yeah, I was pleased with our weekend, and it gets tougher now. Obviously we're going to Southern Miss, and they started out 4-0. They played Mississippi State tonight at home, and obviously Southern Miss is Southern Miss. Some things don't change. They got great arms. They're older. They're going to be really good. They're ranked, and I know they're not in our league anymore, but they're still a tremendous rival, and their fans and our fans, our players, their players, and so it'll be a lot of intensity. And with the exception of LSU, I know we play them in a midweek. I really think if you look at our schedule, this is probably the most intense atmosphere we may play in all year. On the road, and so it's important. I mean, I know it's going to be cold, and that could affect the crowds, but they'll be ready for us. And our guys need to be thrown into it, man. We just jump into the deep end and let's get after it and see what happens. But I know they're really, really good.
Same rotation? Yeah,
we'll stay with it. Hupka Friday night, Nichols on Saturday, and it'll be Cooley on Sunday. And obviously Hupka did not pitch like he wanted to, or we wanted him to, and he's so professional, and and he goes about his business, gets his work done, and he knows. I mean, he come in and basically said I was no good, and I went out yesterday with our day off. He was getting some work in on his own and talked to him. He's ready to take the mound. I mean, he can't wait to get back out there. So I think it's too early to start making moves, and you don't want to look like you're panicking, especially when you just won 4 games. But, I think give those guys another shot, see where we are after this weekend. But, yeah, right now, same rotation.
I know a lot of new faces were kind of, like you said, shuffled in.
Yeah.
I don't think we had a chance to talk about, Mexico. I guess just what do you think of his first series?
Oh, well, his first game, 3 walks. I think he punched out once or twice. And, I think when you look at guys like Mexico and Zeb and Trey Halsey, let's just talk about those. They're new. They're really good players. I think Trey and Zeb were both 1 for 14, but it was loud. They had some tough at-bats, but they hit the ball hard. I mean, Trey's hitting the ball 100-plus miles per hour exit velocity, and, that's kind of our theory. You hit it hard, you win. You can't control where it goes sometimes. And, I think Sebastian and Zeb and Trey fall into that category. They're trying a little too hard. They want to impress the crowd. They want to show people they belong, and sometimes that can work against you. That's why I set them, a little bit. Said, hey, watch the game. Slow it down. Sometimes when you just watch, it slows down for you. And, Sebastian came off the bench, and I know it was a little unorthodox. I did. I said, I'm going to make these 2 moves, and it's a lefty throwing. I thought they'd go the pin, and hindsight, I should have pinch hit a righty, but I wanted to throw Patterson and Mexico out there, and they had 2 tough at-bats. But they came back late in the game, and Sebastian had a double and a single, and I think, and obviously Cade had the home run and the sac fly. So, yeah, I think those guys are good. For us to be successful, Mex has to be in line. I think he has to play. I mean, he's got to figure it out. Zeb needs to figure it out. But in saying that, I think those guys saw it this weekend. We got a lot of good players, man. And a lot of them are very close and similar. Our outfield, with the exception of Garrison Berkeley and Thaxton Burks, they're all left-handed hitters, and they're kind of very similar. So, I guess right now you go with who you think's hot and gives you the best chance to win, and we're going to run into some really good arms this weekend. BC?
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned the defense of Eli Burks, but how about the defense just up the middle in total? I thought Safford was great, Ballard as well, and then, of course, Berkeley in center field.
I agree. I'm glad you brought that up. I think we made one error all weekend, maybe two. There was a judgmental call in one of them. But we turned some unbelievable double plays that when we needed them, and I thought Safford and Ballard looked as good as, anybody in the country could look opening weekend as far as dominating average plays and turning double plays in high leverage moments. And Berkeley, Berkeley struggled all fall, and that's an older guy. He's very mature. He's very professional, and he didn't have a great fall in early spring, but he's starting to come on. And I think him and Eli Burks are those kind of guys. When the lights come on, they take it to another level, and I think that's what you saw with them. But I was very pleased with our infield defense. One thing I loved is Como, Safford, and Mike and Trey. I heard them all weekend just talking, just communicating, man. And we stress that. Talk to each other, communicate, talk the game. And, we've had teams here that never said a word. It drives you crazy. It's like, would y'all talk to each other? And I mean, when it would get quiet during the moments in the game, I could hear them talking, just keeping each other loose. I'll be here, I'll be there. And the communication level with those guys, and they're all older, was off the charts. And, I'm with you. I thought our defense, especially up the middle, was outstanding.
To his point, I guess, about Safford specifically, it seems like his speed is really going to be a weapon both defensively, offensively, kind of bottom of the order,
Yeah.
get him on base and kind of, like you said, pressure a defense like that.
You saw it Friday night. Bottom of our order was very productive for us. Got a lot of hits, got on base. And you're right, Will's a dynamic athlete, very fast twitch. He can run. He plays high energy. He struggled a little bit offensively last year, but he has the ability, Matt, as you said, to get on base, pressure a defense, steal a base, take a ball in the dirt, go first to third. Mexico scored from first on a double in the first inning or Friday night, and those are things we stress. It ain't always about stealing bases, and it's stretching, taking a base in front of them. We did that multiple times where we went first to third on a base hit to center or to left. But Safford is definitely one of those guys that he just brings energy and guys feed off of him. But he has that ability to get on base, and we can make some things happen with him on base, no question.
I got one more in terms of the bullpen. I know you said Blake Hooks, obviously was going to get that first shot to probably close things out. But talk a little bit about the other guys that were maybe in the middle, like a Crider, like a Roberson, some of those guys that perform well, and how important is that, those middle relief guys to bridge that gap to get to the back end?
Unreal. I mean, last year we had Hupka from 6 and 7, and then we go Broderson Bates. That's about as good as it in the country. I'm serious. I mean, I don't know anybody that had it any better. And it was a good recipe, and those guys are gone or moved to a new role. And, we're leaning on Hooks. We're leaning on Crider, who had a little bit of success last year. I thought he was great. Came in some high-leverage situations. Roberson, there's other guys. And we had some guys that melted, man, that we thought they can do it. You never know how guys are going to react in those situations, those moments. And we're not down on them. It's opening weekend, and opening weekend can be – it is what it is. I talked about this with 5 other coaches on a Zoom yesterday, 5 other D1 coaches, and my question to them was, how much stock do you put in opening weekend? Because it is what it is, and some guys are so amped up they can't perform, and some guys don't get going until later. And but I thought for us, it was really good, and it was great to see those middle relievers come in. Connor Nation does what he does, man. He come in and he quieted the storm, calmed the ship, got us back going in the right direction. And the beauty of not playing a midweek game is he was able to pitch multiple times this weekend. Hooks was able to go more innings on Sunday. We may not win that game if we got a midweek, because we got to use him. You got to be thinking, hey, he's going to have to close or help us on Tuesday or Wednesday. And us not playing, he was able to keep going on Sunday. So I thought that played into us winning the game. And, the bullpen is going to be ultra important to us. And there's other guys down there. We're going to have live at-bats today. The guys that didn't get to pitch that I think they're really good. I think they can help us. So I'll be interested to see our at-bats today and see those guys get on the bump and throw live to our hitters. right, BC.
Any other questions?
All right.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you, Matty. Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it. Thank y'all.